Welcome to today's webcast on modular product transparency reporting. Today we're going to focus on the work we're doing around material ingredient reporting. Pretty much everyone who's here has most likely attended webcasts before, but just to let you know, the questions panel on the control panel is available to you to send in questions at any time. And we will keep tabs on them during the webcast and try to answer questions as they come. Otherwise, we'll take them at the end. And if we don't answer your questions during the webcast, we will get back to you with that follow-up information. So this is a two-part webcast series about modular product transparency reporting, which is a term we're trying out because it seems pretty applicable to the kind of work that we're doing, and you'll see that will get explained along the way. The first part of this webcast was about our modular approach to environmental performance reporting or environmental impact. This part of the series is focused on the material ingredient reporting, and just so that you know, we are repeating both of these webcasts next week at this same time for this one next Friday, and we'll be repeating the environmental performance webcast on Wednesday, as well as they are both being recorded and will be posted on our blog. So in LEAD version 4 and out in the marketplace, two types of product transparency disclosures and methods for disclosing have been evolving. And along with that, we've created next generation marketing tools that turn disclosures into brand value by integrating product transparency into product marketing. So by way of introduction, I think some of the folks on the webcast are new. Sustainable Minds is a software company. I'm Terry Swack, the CEO and founder. Got the company going about 8 years ago. And our first product was a cloud-based EcoDesign and LCA software tool, the first to bring lifecycle assessment and EcoDesign in an easy-to-use tool for product development teams in early-stage design. So in this table, we're trying to show you where we fit into the PCR, LCA, EPD provider landscape. So we started, we're a software company, a cloud software company. We have an LCA tool. Although it's not comparable to Gavi or CIMAPRO, ours was purpose-built for early-stage scenario planning, hotspot analysis, non-technical, non-LCA users, business people, engineering, design. As we realized there was increasing interest in not only designing greener products, but now marketing greener products or reporting on those products in the marketplace, we took a hard look at, well, how do we bring the same ease of use, cloud, make things understandable and accessible to non-technical people kind of thinking to that space. And that's the story that I'm going to tell you and share that journey with you today of how we determined we needed to add program operator to our business model so that we could introduce the transparency report framework and program, which is an ISO 14025 Type 3 environmental declaration program. And so by virtue of adding program operator, we also became, like some of the other folks that you're familiar with who are program operators, our model as a cloud software provider is that the way we scale our solutions is by partnering with all the service providers, the folks delivering LCAs, the folks doing material ingredient analysis, and the folks who do verification of LCAs and the different kinds of EPDs, now transparency reports, and verification of the material evaluations that are existing in the marketplace. So what we're going to cover today is going to take you through the backstory and the strategy for the development of our transparency products to kind of set that foundation. And we're going to talk about the research study we conducted to understand the material ingredient reporting space and how we ourselves tried to understand the similarities and differences between the disclosure and rating system options and how a manufacturer might decide which program is going to be right for them, which will all lead us up to the case study that we wanted to share with you today, which is the material health overviews we created with ECOS Paints. So we'll talk through how they were created and look at the options for reporting about single products, product groups, or product families, and some key learnings that we picked up along the way and also wanted to share with the community to start thinking about. This is just a discussion topic, which is when you use results from multiple disclosures and present that to the market, how do those results get integrated or normalized or made meaningful when they're presented side by side? And another thing that we picked up on, and we're not the only ones, which is folks are doing, and particularly we found this in the HPDs, they're bundling a lot of products into a single HPD, making it ultimately difficult to determine which products really go with which HPDs, and therefore how many products in the marketplace have HPDs associated with them. So to set the stage, these are the challenges around product transparency. Everybody thinks it is absolutely the right thing to do, but it's voluntary. And if manufacturers can't make a business case for why product transparency is going to be good for their business, it will just remain optional and not get done. And while LEED version 4 has been the primary driver for product transparency, the market really needs to have solutions and options that help them specify greener products based on results-driven solutions that provide enough information to enable enough people to make enough decisions about enough products. So that requires scalability. Further, the way disclosure data is presented today, it's very difficult for non-technical users, so meaning non-material experts or LCA experts, so the folks who make decisions about products, very difficult to understand how to use disclosures to make informed specification and purchase decisions. And further, it's even difficult to find them because they're everywhere and nowhere, and largely delivered in PDFs, which means that the data can't be used or reused for any other larger modeling or calculations or mapping projects. Sometimes you have to pay, sometimes they're free. So it really is a challenge today to provide information in a way that folks can understand it and find it. And we have to focus on providing solutions that make it easy to find and use so that we collectively can make product transparency a reality, just like everybody wants it to be the right thing to do. So here's the opportunity, just like I said, to make product transparency understandable, useful, and usable. Manufacturers want to make their investments in product transparency pay off in some kind of measurable way. And they want cost-effective, credible solutions that make it easier for them to use those disclosures to sell products, build a brand, and have leadership in the market. And users just simply want understandable product information to make project decisions, and they want the information to be free and findable. last year, as we were really digging into this opportunity to make product transparency understandable and scalable and findable, one of the things that just kind of presented itself was this word disclosure and the examination of this word disclosure. We went and looked it up, and it turns out that the synonyms for disclosure are not particularly compelling for a manufacturer to want to create disclosures. Who wants to be confessing or exposing or admitting to some kind of betrayal in the marketplace? But the fact is that product manufacturers who are providing information about their products through technical disclosures really should be rewarded. And the way they should be rewarded is to make it easy for their products to be specified into projects. And so the way to do that is to integrate all this new performance information, environmental performance, material ingredient information, into the documents that manufacturers already use today to sell products that have all the other criteria that people make trade-off decisions with. Functional performance, cost, aesthetics, safety. These are just new criteria that people need to have data about all in one place so that they can actually make informed trade-offs. And in fact, those folks who are providing that information really have a lot to talk about and promote. So we believe that product transparency builds credibly greener brands, and that the value for manufacturers to provide this information about their products is to demonstrate they actually know what they're doing. So it's not enough simply to fill out a form or go through a technical process and make that available. That's the kind of box-checking approach. And there's no certainty that if that disclosure is provided, it's telling a story about a healthier or a greener product. But if the manufacturer actually can say, hey, we understand what this information means, and here's what we're doing. Either we're changing up the way we make our products or source them, or we already have done that, and these are the results that we've achieved through that. That starts to be pretty meaningful and starts to be a way that non-technical people can make decisions about products. So truth builds trust, trust builds powerful brands, and powerful brands create preference and value for their companies. And so this is how product transparency becomes a marketing activity. We ask folks who have already invested a lot of money, early adopters, how are you and how will you continue to leverage those investments into sales growth? As I said, the presence of a disclosure, everybody knows, is not an indicator of a higher performing product. Very frequently, these disclosures either get posted in a database somewhere or posted on a website with very little training. Sales reps, partners, distributors, that even they're there, let alone what do they mean and how do you use them. And those who have started to invest will continue to invest, and others will have to come on board just to compete. And there's got to be a way for these costs to be contained, pay off, and for manufacturers to be able to plan for this in just as part of the way they do business. So when we got involved in looking at the environmental performance reporting space, this was 3 years ago now, we took a look at the current state of environmental product declarations, and we looked at about 45 different EPDs from different geographic locations around the world in different product groups, and came away with the understanding that most of them were way too long. If they were too short, they probably weren't an EPD. A lot of technical information, not clear what it meant. Very little other information about the product, and everyone knows that EPDs aren't easily used for comparability. And so, our conclusion was, how does a regular person use an EPD to make a purchase decision? So the goals we set for ourselves coming out of this research study was, if we were going to take on creating a solution that market needs, that it had to be a systemic solution, that you couldn't change one thing in a complex system and hope to achieve step change, innovative results. And so here were some of the key drivers. Comprehensive solution. Design is one of our core competencies, so we know how to bring visual language and information design to complex information to make it clear and understandable. We knew we had to provide real advantages over how things get done today, because we were really going to have an uphill battle telling this story about what we were trying to do, and within the construct of today's standards and methods, but yet trying to do something new. And trust me, it has been a challenging story to tell, and this webinar is a testament to that. There's a lot of content, which is why I have your questions. We also thought that, as the market gets more educated and more folks participate, there has to be the provision for continual improvement based on learning and engagement. So again, documents being encoded in PDFs, not being changeable, isn't going to work longer term. Disclosures, the standards for disclosures being not changeable for long periods of time, also not a particularly good model. And so, continuous improvement, harmonization, alignment, with so much going on in the marketplace, that has to be built into the system. And then finally, to really focus on the benefits that the solution provides. And our determination was, the benefit is in the report, how the information gets delivered to the user. So everything that happens before, PCRs, LCA, the material evaluation method, is just a means to an end. And so we said, great, let's keep all the science, but re-engineer the process of how that information ends up in a report. And so our first new kind of report we brought out 2 years ago is our transparency report, which is our brand of EPD. Transparency report is an ISO 14025 Type 3 environmental declaration. 14025 says on page 1 of the standard, a program operator can call their declaration anything they want. We decided we didn't want to call ours an EPD because we wanted to indicate there was something different about it. So it's our brand of EPD, and designed to leverage the manufacturer's investment in LCA to ultimately build a greener brand. And we've been fortunate to have the opportunity to work with Toto USA, who from the beginning was the customer who really helped drive the requirements and pilot our products. We're in the third season of developing, or the third year of developing transparency products with Toto, and I'm going to show you some more of that. What we came away from that research study was, though, we said, nobody needs to read 10 pages or 15 pages or 20 pages. It can be done in 3 pages. That's our commitment to ourselves, 3 pages. Page 3 happens to be optional. And everything somebody would need to know to make a purchase decision should be on page 1. So we developed a performance dashboard that has the functional performance, and the product attributes, as well as the environmental performance and the contributors to that, all of the verification information. Because this is in the cloud, this links to the manufacturer. All of these certifications or rating systems or standards, these are all links to the manufacturer's website, to the product pages. So it's all about driving traffic to and from the manufacturer's product pages, their site, to its transparency products, social media, all the benefits of the cloud. Our transparency report program is really 3 parts, and this is what we meant when I said earlier about it's a systemic solution. Our transparency report framework is a 2-part PCR program that allows manufacturers and stakeholders to create a Part B of a PCR at the product group level. We talked about the transparency report being a lead generation tool. It allows them to describe what they're doing to make greener products. Now we're getting into the component, the modular approach. They can add a material health overview to that transparency report, and it all lives in the cloud in their own brand showroom. And for those manufacturers who would like, we bundle in, not only don't have to like it, they get it. We give them their data back from their LCA. Now they have the full report, the interpretation, they know where the impacts are. We give them their data back in our software so that their product teams can actually go back to work, look at where the impacts are occurring, where meaningful improvements can be made, and hopefully next iteration bring a greener product to market. So we spent several years developing the transparency report, the transparency report program. And last year we started looking at the other part of product transparency, and here's the lead credit for disclosure and optimization of material ingredients, and started to look at this credit and dig in and say, okay, well, LEED has identified a few different ways material ingredient reporting can be done to achieve the credit language. And we just found out the other day the ILFI was alerted to the fact that declare will be added to this named credit language in April in an interpretation request, and now declare will officially be a manufacturer's inventory that you can use to achieve the LEED credit. So we were looking at this credit language, and the questions we came away with were, why are there so many different ways to disclose material ingredients? And why do different AEC professionals ask for different kinds of disclosures? And how many disclosure types should a manufacturer do? Is it the case that different disclosures answer different kinds of questions? Or does the manufacturer learn something different about how they can improve the material health of their products? Does it help them with the design of the products? Do they have information that's different enough that a manufacturer would want to be able to tell a customer? And if this different kind of assessment or report is required, then why not provide it all in the same place with all the other information delivered to a customer that get used to make purchase decisions? So we did the very same kind of research study, although it was shorter because there were fewer things to look at. And here are the results of the different programs. And really, it's the same list of research findings. They're very technical. And in fact, this is an example of a manufacturer's inventory where there is actually no report format. It literally is just a spreadsheet with the list of ingredients and the CAS number and some other data. There's differences between them that some can disclose hazardous ingredients with no explanation, although some you don't have to disclose hazardous ingredients. And again, they're not comparable. There's certainly no marketing information. Same bottom line. How do they get used to a purchase decision? And what does the manufacturer want to learn and ultimately do with the results? These questions informed the development of our second transparency product called the Material Health Overview. which can be created using any material health evaluation method. And our goal was to standardize material health reporting to drive healthier building product purchase decisions. So we went about building relationships with each of these organizations to better understand their process, their standards, where they're going, and particularly with the harmonization initiative, what's happening with data on the back end, what technology is going to be built or is in the process of getting built. And so this really has taken us the better part of a year to really wrap our brains around everything we needed to know. And this is the result. There's a material health overview tailored for each evaluation method, delivered in a standardized way, and I'm going to break it down for you. So now when a manufacturer decides, I'm going to declare for certain products, I'm going to create HPDs for other products, or maybe do both for the same products, that the information is presented in one standard way, they're comparable, and they're designed so that people who really have no knowledge about material ingredient reporting can actually learn everything they need to know about how the study was done, what the results mean, and what the manufacturer is doing to improve. Now, we had originally imagined adding the material health information to a transparency report, but pretty quickly realized that there were enough manufacturers who might only do material ingredient reporting and never do LCAs or any kind of other environmental reporting. And so the material health overview comes two ways, either integrated into a transparency report or as a standalone report, where we've taken the content from page 1 of the transparency report and added it to page 2, or added it to the material health overview to have a one-page report. So when we were trying to figure out what information from a technical disclosure should go into a material health overview, we asked ourselves, well, what questions does somebody making a decision want to have answered as quickly as possible? And so these are the questions that we determined and certainly validated with folks. So, you know, what we want to know is, somebody might want to know, is what is the product made of? Are there any hazardous ingredients? If yes, how bad are they? Are there exposure concerns? And what's the company doing to make improvements? Again, designed for non-technical readers, combining the sustainability efforts and the technical story into one document. And it is the first product available for material ingredient reporting to have that value add of integrating the explanation and improvement stories that are not part of disclosures. When a material health overview gets added to a transparency report, what we've done is created 2 tabs on page 2 of the transparency report, and now the user can toggle between the life cycle assessment results and interpretation and the material health results and interpretation, using the same page structure so that the technical information and the scope of the evaluation is on the left side of the page, and the interpretation and how we're making it greener or healthier is reported on the right. What we've done is we've created, again, there's a template that's been tailored for each reporting, for each program, and this is just part of the template where we've provided for the manufacturer the kinds of things they might want to write about to explain the results, the technical results being shown here on the left-hand side of the page. So here on the Declare MHO, for example, we're suggesting, okay, well, how did you actually achieve that rating? What does it mean to be red list free, or whichever rating that's been achieved? Potentially use the section to briefly explain how you did that, This next section, what's in the product and why. These are example topics that the manufacturer could choose to discuss. Has it earned any other green ratings or eco labels? You know, literally, what are you doing in the decisions that you make about the ingredients that you put in the products? Have you made any trade-offs, looked at alternatives? Have they anything pending that you can talk about? And unique to declare is talking about where the product goes at the end of its life. And this section is standard. The manufacturer has the opportunity to talk about what they're doing to make the product healthier, things that they're implementing or investigating, goals and plans. This content is all optional. You know, this is a template, it's a standard presentation. The manufacturer can choose to provide as much or as little information as they like to explain what this disclosure means and how to make it meaningful to the readers. And so, again, you know, we talked about this. How will manufacturers make this scalable? One of our transparency products is our brand Showroom. So when a manufacturer creates a transparency report or a material health overview, they're all delivered in this brand Showroom, all in one place, in the cloud, free, you know, no login, no pay to use. Manufacturers can also link all their current EPDs, so everything is all in one place. Now there's an ideal single destination to train salespeople, customers, partners, and really give a pretty clear snapshot of what products the manufacturer has with product transparency information. As I said, we're in our third year of developing transparency products with Toto, and their requirements and the demands of the marketplace continue to drive the design of our solutions. And so when you go to the Toto showroom, you can see that for some products they have transparency reports for some products they have material health overviews for only, and for some products they have both. And this is the actual showroom. What was very interesting about the process for Toto was they felt very strongly about getting declare labels because big supporters of the Living Building Challenge. And so when they went to get the declare labels for some of their products, it turned out that they couldn't get anything higher than declared status because there's PVC in the products. So this is a great story where they reported the fact that there is PVC. They used the How They're Making It Healthier zone to talk about they're looking for ways to remove PVC. And now, by the way, here's an example. You can toggle between the LCA results and the material results. Here's the references section, the value and the rating systems. But what Toto did was, knowing that they couldn't get a higher rating than declared, which meant the product couldn't be used in a Living Building Challenge building, they were able to pretty quickly go and develop a new PVC-free Drake 2, which they're pretty excited about. And in fact, to promote that, we did a one-page freestanding material health overview where now they get to talk about the fact that they did get a higher declare level and what they've done now to remove the PVC from their products. And further, they have goals to continue that kind of improvement. Now you can see the value that they can get in Living Building Challenge. And something I think that's important for people to realize is that Declare is a self-declared program. It's not third-party verified. And that's going to be something we're going to go back and talk about now. So to summarize, we have two transparency products. Both can live in the manufacturer's showroom. And what we're striving for is to help manufacturers design and market greener products through this continuous improvement loop. And really what we are is a publishing platform for product transparency information. And a few weeks ago, a colleague of ours said, you know, really what you're doing is you're like the Rosetta Stone of transparency reporting, where we take a lot of complexity and simplify it. And so to put kind of a finer point on what we're doing, we like to make this analogy that the deliverable of an LCA is an LCA report. An EPD is a report of the LCA report. And so you ask the question, well, why are EPDs still so long? It's because they're disclosures. An LCA report is a disclosure, as is an EPD. And the folks who write PCRs believe that a lot of LCA information should also go into the EPD. And we talk about that in our environmental performance webcast. We invite you to attend or listen on that. So here's the analogy that an LCA is to a transparency report, as a Declare label is to a material health overview. These are disclosures, or any other kind of material ingredient. These are disclosures, and these are marketing tools. And the difference between the two transparency products is that the transparency report is a Type 3 environmental declaration, and so the credit is earned because of having this report. In this case, the material health overview, it's the background report, just like an LCA is a background report. It's the Declare label, it's the HPD, it's the material health, it's the cradle-to-cradle certificate that earns the lead credit. And the only exception is the manufacturer's inventory version of the material health overview actually is the first and only standard format for a manufacturer's inventory. And so, in fact, it is the document that earns the credit. So let's get into our case study for today, talking about modular product transparency for material ingredient reporting. So what does that mean? Our modular approach means that you should be able to create a material health overview and provide all the information you want to provide about those products, whether it's a single product or you want to report on product families or product groups. And there's some consideration into, again, how many products do you want to report about in a single transparency product. And our rule of thumb is it's the same decision you'd make, as a manufacturer would make, as to how many product brochures would they make to market those products. Would they make one for every product? Would they make one for a product line? Would they make one for a product family? And so this is the same decision. How many pieces of information do you, as a manufacturer, need and want to sell that particular product? And the manufacturer should be able to use data and results from any program and provide it all in one deliverable, either collectively with other kinds of environmental performance information or individually. So Ekos Paints is a very innovative paints and coatings manufacturer based in South Carolina, and they have amazing products. I'll just say that. They do have amazing products. In fact, I was so impressed when they recently earned a rating that allows for using their products when the space is occupied. So painting while the occupants are there, which for most of you, if you've ever been around a building, especially a commercial building where it's been painted, it's brutal. So that's how healthy their products are. And you know, as a smaller company, Julian Crawford, the CEO, has really wanted to do everything in his power to credibly compete and bring their products to market. So he was the first to hunker down and create HPDs and get declare labels. They were very early. They created their own inventories, created their HPDs initially, and then worked with Tox Services to make sure that those HPDs were done correctly. And a shout out to Tox Services. They're terrific people to work with. And we were really excited that Julian felt, let's take the next step. Yes, I really want to leverage these investments that we made. And you know, as a smaller manufacturer, who a large part of their business is consumer, when you go to their website, you can order their paints as a consumer online. But clearly, the B2B portion of their business is also significant. This looked like a pretty easy way to create a more cogent and focused B2B section of their website so that they could keep the site they have, which serves consumers, and drive B2B users to this section that has this technical information and surrounded by the technical marketing information to help make a better informed decision. So the things I want to talk about is how Ekos Paint's requirements drove the development of this new format for material health overview. So, you know, every time we engage with a new customer, we don't say no to requirements. We say if that's a requirement, let's figure out why, and if in fact it's something we can turn into a feature that makes a lot of sense. So this is a very collaborative design process. And as you know, we earlier have asked this question, you know, why have two types of disclosures? And in the material health overviews we had designed already and that I've shown you, it was all nice and tidy, one format for each type of disclosure, a very, you know, one page, technical information on the left, interpretation on the right. But what to do when a customer showed up and said, absolutely, I want to use both my types of disclosures in the same report. So we said, okay, we'll figure out how to do that. And because this was a way to, again, create a targeted B2B presence, how could we integrate more kinds of marketing information into the material health overview? And so we've also started to really look at, you know, there is still a lot of data, even in a material health overview, even if we're pulling up and distilling the data from a technical disclosure. So we started to look at the attributes of disclosure, and can we provide more of a snapshot of information to make these tools even more useful. And we'll be doing a lot more work looking at this kind of attribute level. So I'm going to dive into this demo. Go back to the actual report. And here we're going straight to the ECOS Paints showroom. And what was really exciting as we looked into ECOS Paint's B2B business, their paints have been used in really high-profile projects, at the Louvre, at Google, the London Underground, Heathrow, as well as in people's new baby rooms. It really is quite a range of applications. And so the other requirement that I left off that page was that it made sense for ECOS Paints to do material health overviews at the product group level, because that was actually how they had grouped their HPDs based on ingredients by product group. But even further, as we dug into it a little bit, some of the ingredients were common to products across groups. And so there was a lot of really digging into the HPDs to understand, again, which HPDs got associated with each product. But the other thing that was really nice about ECOS Paints is their kind of brand visual language, which is very much about showing people, people, kids, being exposed to the paint. So we'll go back and look in more detail, but I just wanted to show you each one. This is the air purifying products, HPD, material health overview. Here's the paints and primers. Nice pregnant woman painting. And here's the last one, the wood shield, stain, and varnish. And the person in this picture had just left the room. We thought this was a great picture of the application of the product. I'm going to go back and let's look at the most complex material health overview. So the paints and primers is the one that has the most products. So the different sections of the material health overview, it lists the product. So this is the product group, paints and primers, and these are the product families: sealers, base, 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 primer. Quick description. Now we're at the performance dashboard. Features and functionality. Here in the environmental performance section, how is the environmental performance being improved? Some high-level attributes. They have a lot of certifications and rating systems that they've achieved ratings in. You can click to their site to get more information about the products. And now let's dig into the material health evaluation section. This was kind of a challenging design problem to solve because, again, when we had one product or a group of products that were pretty much the same, like we had with Toto, it was just one page. Technical scope on the left, interpretation on the right, et cetera, et cetera. Well, in this case, we now had product families with multiple products in each family, and we had HPDs for some and declare labels for some, just HPDs for some with no declare labels for some, and really trying to figure out this attribute snapshot quickly to be able to tell someone what disclosures have been earned or provided for this product, and what are the most important things you want to know about it. So you want to know it's HPD version 1.0, reporting to 100 parts per million, they disclose known hazards, and okay, yes, there were minimal benchmark 1 ingredients detected. And so if I look down here, yeah, I can see that. Wow, look at that, 21% of the makeup of this product was found to be an LT1. Well, how is that possible? When look at this, they got a red list free declare label. And this is actually, I think, the most interesting illustration of kind of the power of the material health overview, because here's what's in the product and why. And so ECOS Paints talks about why they chose to do HPDs and declare labels. And I liked what they did here. They talked about what's in the product and then what's not in the product. But this is where the interpretation of the results all came together. That, well, yes, there's ingredients that were determined to be LT1s, but are not considered to represent a risk in the way they're used in ECOS products, which is why they have a red list free declare label. And they go on to talk about the ingredients that were identified as benchmark ones and why they don't actually present a risk in the way that they're used. Now, here's some of the other marketing information. They have a lot of testimonials, a lot. And it's an interesting juxtaposition. In fact, you can click to their site to go and read more of these testimonials. And again, this is all about leveraging information in other places, sending traffic back and forth between different tools, more case studies or actual case studies about projects. And finally, when you scroll down, you can download every single HPD that's being represented in this report. You can click to every declare label, and you can click and read each of these standards. If somebody really wanted to geek out and get into that, and you can see the value that these have earned in the rating systems. We invite you, and Ekos Paints invites you to explore their material health overviews and to explore their products. And you certainly can go ahead and contact them through their material health overview. Tell them how much you like it, and hopefully spec their products. So our takeaway from effectively the year and a half we've put into understanding the material reporting space and creating these products, we come back to this question: how many disclosures should a manufacturer do? And it's pretty clear, if a manufacturer wants their products to be able to be used and earn credits in a living building challenge building, that's the reason to get the declare label, absolutely. The decision to make, to create other kinds of disclosures and what to do with that data, I think is a pretty important discussion with the manufacturer, because really the very first value for the manufacturer is to understand where they can make improvements in the product, and not just create them for reporting purposes. And to really think about, now that I have these, what story can I tell the customer that this credible information backs up what we're doing and why we're doing it. We also spent a good amount of time working both with the folks at Tox Services and the ECOS Paints folks to really get into the stories that they could tell from the two types of disclosures and how to present that information kind of side by side. Clearly, there was a lot of thinking about how to group products into a report, and working from disclosures that had been done prior to thinking about using them in an outward-facing reporting format. And of course, now this thinking about extracting kind of the meaningful attributes and telling that story, so to continue to simplify the information but present it in the most meaningful way. And so today, what we hope we've shown you is that it doesn't matter the size of the manufacturer. Anyone who is investing in product transparency should be able to take that information and leverage it into not only making better products, greener and healthier products, but being able to market those products effectively so that you get the credit in the marketplace for doing that good work. Everybody benefits through delivering understandable, meaningful information. Manufacturers benefit, decision makers benefit, and the big winner is the green rating systems, where there will be now more products with product transparency information that end users can specify so that they can get their 20 products per transparency reporting type into a building, so that we are, at the end of the day, building more actually healthier, greener, higher performing buildings. So that's the content that we have for today. We invite you to attend Wednesday for our environmental performance reporting webcast. The replay of this Wednesday's will be up on our site shortly if you don't have time. And if you liked what you heard today, again, next Friday, there's no guarantee I'll tell the story the exact same way. We will put the recording up on the site. And tell your friends. Happy to have you promote it. We'll remind you again next week. And as I peruse the questions, it doesn't look like anything has come in that we didn't already touch on. And so we are just going to end on time, and thank you all for taking your time out of your busy Friday, and we look forward to being in touch. Have a great day.